Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. We are here to talk about the Burn, Rewrite, Reread tag. We're going to go through a list of books. We're waiting on Desiree. Hopefully, she's having some technical difficulties trying to get on. So she is our lovely hostess when she does get back on. But we're going to start and sort of I think just chat a little bit and see if she gets on. So do we want to go through, like, we could go through our line and be like, number one book you would do any of those things to? We want to go down the line?
Yeah, sure.
Because I can start with the number one series that I would rewrite but not change a word of, which is Harry Potter. So that's mine. And Megan, you're on my left.
Oh, yay. This is a very good question. I am a firm believer that not because I love it, but as a tribute to the age category, once a decade, I feel obligated to reread Twilight. Just the first one. I don't have to put myself through the whole series, but just because none of us would be writing YA, YA wouldn't exist without it. So I feel like a duty to read it and just see if I can figure out what that magic is, what made it happen.
So Twilight is not a rewrite for you, it's just a reread.
No, there's no fixing Twilight. Let's be real here.
Twilight is what it is. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't imagine that book any different than what it is.
For what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And jumping on the big title bandwagon, I will burn the Percy Jackson books.
What?
I never got into them, and I feel like you can't write Greek gods anymore without it being compared to Percy Jackson. So
yeah, he kind of does have a monopoly on the market.
Yeah.
So many angry Percy Jackson fans, Percy
Jackson was so good. Oh man,
I can't read middle grade. I struggle.
Maybe you could burn the movies, because I know that we all universally.
I will bring the gasoline to that party. Oh man, the movies are so bad. Oh god.
Okay, let's preface this too by saying that we were talking about this earlier. None of us believe in burning books because that's bad and that's Nazi type stuff. So we are only burning books in the scenario that we are in a zombie apocalypse. All of the food and warmth is gone. All the trees are cut down. So we're now burning books for warmth because it's the only thing we can do to stay alive. So which books are you burning to stay alive? Which books go first? This just preface.
If any of the books that we talk about
to stay alive.
If any of the books that we talk about are some of your favorites, we're sorry. There's a personal opinion.
We want
exactly.
We will probably argue in this chat.
So. Oh yeah. Somebody's gonna get offended today, and I'm just I'm ready for it.
One of us will leave the WordNerd.
Over today.
See, because I would already be wrestling Percy Jackson out of Kelly's hands in the event of a zombie apocalypse. Because there's so many other better ones to burn. What about the last Twilight book? Burn that.
Can I just say that in that scenario? In that scenario, I'm going straight to the Alison Noel section because I hate everything that she's written, and yes, I am totally okay with saying that. I hate it was so dumb. That one Evermore series was super pointless. I'm just the first section that I'm going to are those ones. I just no. At least they're useful in a heat scenario. That's it.
I said recently that we don't typically torch other people's books on this channel. I feel like this video is going to be our grand exception.
Our one rant about the books we're angry about. Yeah. Well, it's I get how much effort goes into having a book published, so I can't necessarily say that I don't respect any of these people, or that I think that they shouldn't have done that, because I know that it's a whole process and it takes a long time, a lot of effort goes into it. So I do respect these people for putting out books. I just happen to not like your book. And that's another thing where it's tastes are subjective, and all that jazz. I'm just kind of like, there's some out there that I'm really unsure of.
Strong feelings.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. My super strong feeling is that I would rewrite the whole like second half of the Throne of Glass series. Because like I love I mean the first book like had some like writing weaknesses, but I still really enjoyed it, and like I really liked the first 3 books, and then I like hated book 4 and didn't read the rest of them because like I hated the direction the whole series took. And so like, you know, assuming that I could actually like write it decently, which who knows, but like I would want to like rewrite it and have it be the series I wanted it to be, because it just like the series I was expecting and that I wanted based off the first couple books was not the direction it took. So
yeah, that's a good point. I there are some, and that it was, I've talked about this multiple times, where like I liked how it kept expanding, because I thought that was a really cool way to world build, but it did definitely go in a direction that I was kind of like, okay, like I felt like
the Fae like took over the series, and that's not what I was there for.
Because like, I like that because I like fairy books, but I get a lot of people who are like, where did this come from? I hate this. Like this is like normal fantasy, so like I get it.
Yeah. I like some fairy and fae stuff, but yeah, it's like that's not what it seemed like the series was going to be.
Yeah, and you know, maybe it wasn't. Like, it honestly kind of felt like it wasn't. And then her publisher was like, that's part of it for that. Like, okay.
See, okay, before the chat started, I was going to say that I would burn the Hush Hush books. Yes. But I actually changed my mind, though, because I think that no, hear me out. I would rewrite them so that the main character actually ganks the angel and then becomes like this awesome kick-ass angel killer and like a hunter, basically.
Oh my gosh.
So she would off patch and then go into the angel hunting business. And that would be the best series.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm just I just remembered this. There was a book that oh my gosh. Okay, so it was called, oh my gosh, what was it even called? Oh no, I don't even remember. But it was an angel book. It was another angel book, and I definitely would rewrite it because it had the coolest story. Angel Burn. It was called Angel Burn, and it was about angels are these creatures from another dimension that feed off the ether of their world, but their world's dying. So they came to Earth and they like feed off of human auras, and anybody that has gotten fed off of gets angel burn, where they think that like, oh, angels are these amazing beings, like they want to help us, praise the angels, and like all of these religions and cults keep cropping up all over the world for like angels, and the main character ends up being a half angel, and the other like love interest is an angel killer, and you know he's going to off her, but then she's different than everything that he's ever seen. They go on the run, and they're like running away from angels and running away from human authorities. They're under the influence of the angels, and I was like, this book is lit. And it was the worst written book that I've ever read, but the story was so good. So I like that one. I want to rewrite that one.
That's a rewrite one.
I'm like, how long do I have to wait until the public forgets that was a thing, and then I can rewrite it and not have it be copyrighted, because it was so cool and just so much wasted potential.
The funny thing is, I feel like that's a lot of the reason I started writing, is because I would read books that I thought were going to be awesome, and then they would go in a completely different direction, and I'd be like, well, I want to do something similar to that, but like do what I wanted it to do. So
I've shared this story a lot, but like I stopped writing for a very, very long time in high school and in college, and then there was a summer where I read this book, and I can't even remember what it was called anymore. But it was like this girl, and she gets in a car accident, and it's like a light sci-fi. And so they put her brain into like a computer, and
was it by Scott Westerfeld?
Maybe?
No, not Scott Westerfeld.
No, not Westerfeld.
Was it the cover that had the girl with the blonde hair, and she had bangs, and like half the face was like that one. I'm like,
I hated it.
Sorry, so I remember thinking that it was Scott Westerfeld, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it's a name like Westerfeld. I'm pretty sure it was like not for me. I did not like it, and then I was like, I can. If this person can get a book published, surely I can. And it's been like 7 years of learning that I can't.
Oh, Megan, I'm sure your publishing is going to be, it might take longer, but it's going to be so much better, because I also hated that book, but I remember that one. Oh man.
Yeah. But it was the first book
early
that made
days
me
of YA.
feel something in a really long time too. So like I owe a lot to that book, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the things that I felt like, oh, like I could have done this better, like I've realized that like it's a lot harder to do than I thought it would be, but also at the same time, I'm like, I wouldn't publish something that bad. You know, like if it was in that state, I would feel like I would have to improve it more before I could publish it. So I'm like, how did you publish this?
The early days of YA were just like a Wild West territory, honestly.
A little bit, yeah. There were definitely books published that I don't think would probably be published now.
Yeah. It's just a way more competitive market now.
Exactly, yeah. What about the Shatter Me series? I would almost want to say rewrite because I love everything about that series except the main character.
Okay.
Annoys me.
I want to burn book 1, rewrite book 2, and reread book 3. Series for that.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on that series.
Yeah,
like
I feel
cool
like I would
idea.
Yeah,
the main character was just too whiny for me.
And
but I liked
book 1
literally
so much.
everything else. Really,
I
didn't mind
hated
it.
book 1. I wouldn't have read the rest of the series if we hadn't done it for the book club.
Same.
Yeah,
I'm glad I did for the rest of it. But,
yeah, me too, because it's one of my favorite now. But yeah,
still not one of my favorites.
Right.
I did enjoy book 4. I will probably read book 5. So.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever a big dystopian fan to begin with, so that might have been why I didn't love it.
Okay.
It was one of the best third books, though.
In our contingency plan for just in case Desiree's technology didn't work, we came up with some of our own. And this kind of leads into the ones that I wrote down. If you guys had to burn, rewrite, or reread any of these 3 romantic dystopians, which would you do? The Selection by Kira Cass, Matched by Ali Condi, and Delirium by Lauren Oliver.
Ooh.
Okay, I would rewrite Delirium because it had potential, and then who knows where the second and third book went. It went way off the because I liked the first one. I thought it was really good, and then I hated the other 2.
Okay,
what about the other 2?
Those 3. Okay, so I would reread The Selection because it's just like addicting. Yeah. Even though it's not that great.
Can we turn it into a drinking game? Because that's the only way that I could get through the entire Selection series again.
I would read that
drink.
I'd reread it.
Every time the character complains, do we drink, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly.
Every time they almost get together.
Every time someone's name is on a page where it's a normal name but it's spelled differently, take a shot.
No, but out of the 3, that's the one I could reread. I couldn't reread the other 2.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the other option?
Delirium and Matched. I'm trying to figure out which I would burn and which I would rewrite because I don't like either that much.
Burn Matched.
Yeah, I'd probably burn Matched
with fire.
and rewrite Delirium. Yeah.
Rachel's so brutal.
Sorry.
I love it.
Look,
I actually really liked the end of the Delirium trilogy. I know a lot of people hated it because, like, spoiler alert, she doesn't choose a guy, really. Yeah. Which it's kind of like, did it really deliver since it was a romance from the start?
That's the whole.
But yeah, I actually really liked the ending.
I liked the idea of the ending, that it was kind of like open-ended, but I didn't think it was executed well. Like it just felt weird. Like I feel like she was trying to do like this open-ended, like you're not like she has her life before her and you don't know what choice she's gonna make next, but it just didn't feel like it was done well. I was frustrated.
See, I was also very firmly like Team Julian. Like I felt like he was way better than the other guy. And in every other romantic dystopian, they didn't get with the Julian character. So this, I was like, oh well, clearly headcanon, she got with Julie.
I don't even remember who the original guy was, but
it was like Alex or something.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Wow,
I just remember she like described his hair as looking like autumn leaves over and over again so many times. Where I was like, is it literally autumn leaves?
I've returned. Yay. My goodness, this was like the most complicated thing ever. I was about to break my laptop in half. I was very angry.
Your connection seems solid now, though. So.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Woo, man. Okay.
Right. Well, if out of the 3 romantic dystopians, which one would you burn, rewrite, and reread? There's The Selection, Matched, and Delirium.
Oh man. Whoa. Okay, wait, what were the 3 again?
The Selection, Matched,
okay.
and Delirium.
Okay. I would say I would probably, that's really hard. Those are all 3 book series I really, really like. Like, well, I like aspects of them. Let me take that back. I like aspects of all of them. I think I'm gonna have to reread Delirium, rewrite Matched, and burn the selection.
Oh, really? That's the opposite of what we've been saying.
Really?
Fighting begin. Okay.
Okay,
I haven't read Matched, so I can't say anything about Matched. But
the first book was actually not too bad. It's just the second book was them running around in canyons for the entire book.
That's so very true.
The second book very much felt like a love letter to the mountains of Utah.
That's a really good description.
Utah tourism, like
What's on the back of the book for like the blurb is like characters run around in canyons.
That's the plot line. And then in the third book, it was like, you know what? Every edgy book series at this moment needs a plague. Let's put a plague in, right? Oh, that makes sense.
So
in this world. And like,
I actually did not hate it. And then you're like,
I like
never mind.
Like
more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like the third book way more than I like the second book, but the first book was definitely the best.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Just what happened, Allie? What happened?
I haven't thought about that series in a while. So yeah, same. It's good. The plague doesn't come in until like book 3, so you gotta get the first 2.
I didn't hate the plague. It just was unexpected.
It was very. It was like
here.
It became a completely different book at the end, and it was like, wait a second.
It was a third POV. Suddenly, the stakes were really high.
Yeah.
No.
That reminds me of the last Divergent book. Where, like,
I'm sure that one is in the bucket.
It is definitely in the bucket.
Yeah. All right.
Let's start in the bucket.
Jesse Wright prepared for us.
Yes.
All right. Some of these are duplicated because I was writing some down last minute and I did not remember what was already in the bucket. Okay. The first one is 1,000 Pieces of You.
Okay. Claudia Gray.
One of Us is Lying.
Ooh.
And Looking for Alaska.
Oh no,
okay.
I know my answer.
I'm ready. Emma, you go first. I have the feeling our answers are the same.
Okay. Okay, I would reread 1,000 Pieces of You. I really enjoyed that book.
Okay.
I would rewrite One of Us is Lying to have a better twist.
Yep.
And I would wait, I forgot what the third
Burn
one.
it.
I would burn Looking for Alaska. I was like, I remember it was a book I would definitely burn. Yeah, Looking for Alaska. Oh no.
Burn.
Mine is the same as Emma's. So
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah, mine is the same too. Is anyone's different?
I think I would reread One of Us is Lying. Because I would rewrite 1,000 Pieces of You because although I do agree that One of Us is Lying, the ending could have been rewritten. I thought 1,000 Pieces of You just, I don't know, it was a little too weird for me.
I'm offended. I love
Perfect
that
amount of
book.
weird for me. Yeah, I love it.
That is truly like one of the best books that like I've read because like a book club. Like,
All right, you know what? I
love
can
that
possibly
book.
be persuaded to think
No
otherwise.
one has to persuade you.
Okay.
This is your burn, rewrite, reread.
I just liked it because like I'm a big fan of like multiverse theory and like things like that. And
yeah.
I feel like Claudia Gray's books in general are like very unique concepts.
They
Yeah.
always are, yeah.
the writing was very solid.
Yeah.
It was very good. There's not a slow moment. Like I remember like being at work because this is when I was like still working with babies. I remember being at work. I got all of them to sleep specifically so I could read for 20 minutes. Like I worked so hard to get them all down at the same time.
Yeah. Claudia Gray was actually the first author I met in person, and she was like so nice and so professional. And I was like, wow, she made a career out of this.
That's amazing. Okay, let's see. Let's move on to the next ones. All right. All right, we have Allegiant.
Coming in hot.
I know, right? Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Okay.
And Carry On.
Ooh. Oh no, this is hard.
I feel like write these down so I can remember what they are.
Okay.
I know,
I'm
that's
ready.
what I literally just did.
So I'm
Okay, we
gonna
can
burn Carry On. Carry On was not for me.
Oh, dear.
I'm gonna have to ventilate. I am so offended right now. Oh my goodness, you would burn Carry On over Allegiance?
I would
Oh,
rewrite
no.
Allegiant for
Oh, no,
sure.
I'm gonna cry.
Rewrite it. Give it the ending it
can't.
deserved.
All right, I'm putting.
You're gonna hear like a doorbell, and Desiree's gonna be like at your door.
Yeah.
How did you find me?
I'm turning in my WordNerds resignation. I can't work. Would burn, carry on. It's just I can't do it. It goes against my moral code.
I really want to rewrite the end of Allegiant and give it a better finale because I really enjoyed books 1 and 2. And obviously reread Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, my answer is
Right.
I'm sorry.
No.
I enjoyed Carry On, but like I could do without it. So
I DNF.
I forced myself to read it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I forced myself to read it.
Okay.
Sorry, just X's out of the chat. To yourself.
Technical
No.
issues. Okay.
They're all crazy. You need to burn Allegiant because it was offensive and
Yes.
angry making, and rewrite Carry On because it's fun and I want to dabble in that world, and obviously reread Harry Potter. That's
All right, Aaron, I'm staying with you. You'll have your own WordNerds. You can leave the others behind.
Start their own channel.
Dedicated exclusively to Carry On.
Yes.
I can't believe it. Oh man, just when you think you know a person. What?
Helen's in the comments supporting you as well.
Yes, thank you, Helen. Thank you. Helen, you can join me and Aaron on our new channel.
It'll be a channel
Aaron.
dedicated to bad mouthing the WordNerd.
We'll be the anti-WordNerds channel.
Every video is just disagreeing with whatever our video is.
Yes.
We're like the Suicide Squad to like the WordNerds. Like,
I love it.
I'm so offended. I'm so tempted to put Carry On back in the bowl. Just so we can
You like think again.
Oh man. Running Carry On over Allegiant. I don't think I'll ever get over that, guys. I'm so offended. All right.
I just want to fix Allegiant so bad.
Me too.
Shame. Shameful. All right. Next up. Ooh. The Raven Boys.
Ooh.
Oh, snap.
Matched.
Again?
Okay.
Nice.
I had that one in the bowl.
Yeah.
Like that one, you guys picked Match. That's your fault.
Yeah, that's
And the last one is
Matched again.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh no.
Ooh,
Raven
Boys
are
no.
We're rereading Raven Boys. We're burning Matched, and then we can't rewrite Harry Potter.
I know.
Oh no!
Everyone's
Everyone's a little too late.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna reread Raven Boys, obviously. Like there's nothing I could rewrite. There's nothing I could do to make it like I am not worthy of like rewriting that book. I would burn Matched for sure. Prisoner of Azkaban, I would just like rewrite a plot thread where like Ginny and Draco become friends and possibly have a romance later. So
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, once again, my answer is Emma's answer, so she can just answer it for me from now.
Not mad. Not at all mad.
Yeah, it works.
I co-sign that.
Anyone think anything different?
I could settle for a Hermione side plot too, since she like punches him in the face. But Journey's really where it's at.
never mind.
No.
I can deal with it.
No.
If I have to.
That's my like no TP.
Yes.
Sorry to all the Hermione shippers out there. I know there's a lot of them.
And that is also
I'm gonna get some hate mail now.
I don't like it because I don't like the narrative that if a boy likes you, it means he's mean to you. Like, so I can't Hermione.
Yeah. Well, and that's like way beyond me. That's why I was like, no, burn Hush Hush, because it's like the toxic masculinity. I'm going to kill you, and then we're gonna fall in love. Like,
it's like I feel like Ginny and Draco give you that antagonistic like hate to love romance that you want. But yeah, like one he didn't bully her quite as much as he did Hermione.
Right.
And also, I feel like Ginny is like feistier, so I feel like
And she's not in the book as much, so there's
Yeah.
more room to create the narrative that she would bully him just as much as he would bully
Like, I couldn't see like Hermione ever putting up with Draco, but I could see Ginny maybe doing it because she's a bit like Fred and George. You know, I feel like she like wouldn't put up with his crap, but also like she's like fun. I don't know.
She would like dye his hair different colors just so he woke up in the morning to see them look like that. Oh man, now I'm gonna have to read fan fiction after this.
Okay, let's see. What are the next 3? I'm trying not to look at them because I don't want to skew the results.
It's very ethical of you.
Okay, we have More Happy Than Not.
Okay.
Turtles All the Way Down.
Okay.
And Eclipse.
Okay.
Oh.
An interesting field of competitors.
Yes.
That's a hard one, actually.
Oh, sorry, what was the first one?
More happy than
More Happy
I
Than
was
Not.
Okay,
I
I know.
read
more
that
happy
one.
than not. Rewrite
Yeah.
Turtles All the Way Down and burn Eclipse.
Wow, no love for Eclipse.
Nope.
No, I would rewrite.
Actually, it was one of my favorite books of the series, but
I would rewrite Eclipse, burn Turtles All the Way Down, and reread More Happy Than Not.
I think
I would
I
do the
think I'm with
exact same,
Aaron.
I think
With
that's
Aaron.
the answer, yeah.
I was like, I can't burn Eclipse. Eclipse was my favorite book of the series. I read that one of the most.
I liked New Moon because I got dumped the same time it came out, and so that series of like January, February, they like really spoke to angsty 17-year-old Megan.
I feel like those like chapters of the months, that's like the most literary part of like you're like, wow, like this series deserves
I was
to
like,
exist
oh
just
damn,
for that
what
one.
did I do?
Just for those like 5 pages, the whole series deserves to exist.
Okay, let's see what's up next. There's some like really random wild card books in here too.
Bring it
I'm
on.
so
Just so
excited.
you know. I got bored writing some down and I was like, what's a really interesting book that doesn't fit?
Okay, listen,
Yes.
if you hadn't gotten in, one of the things I'd put on my list was The Giving Tree. So
Actually, I'm gonna write that down right now. Hold on. That's a great answer. Especially since I just pulled up Looking for Alaska again, which is one of the ones I must have duplicated.
yeah, for
Yeah.
those of you watching, we did put in other ones that were not just strictly YA. There's a couple of like children's books, middle grade. I think there's a comic book or 2 in there as well. So we'll see what gets pulled out.
I don't know one more thing I forgot to put down in there before. I'm prepared. Oh gosh, that is very bad handwriting. Like, I'll show you guys the handwriting because that's horrendous. All right, okay, let's see what's up next. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. All the Harry Potter books are in here, by the way.
I think they're all gonna get reread.
Yeah, I know. But the goal is to make it more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, right, or learn something.
Like if you pull multiple Harry Potters or something.
Yeah, who knows?
That's not how it happens. Okay, so first we have Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Second, we have If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
Aw.
So that's one of the ones. And Sawkill Girls.
Oh no!
Oh no! We have to
Okay.
reread Kill Girls. Have to reread it. There's no way that nothing can happen to that. That is
I
my
want to
baby.
reread If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
That's what I was gonna say too.
My kid thinks those words sound really funny.
Kill Girls, I will come for you.
Yeah.
I will burn Goblet of Fire because it's Goblet. On theme.
I'm gonna burn Sawkill Girls, but I'm not far enough into it to have such a deep emotional
I'm
attachment.
gonna rewrite it. I have feelings. That's our next week's book club.
No, how dare! I'm gonna reread.
I really
Sawkill
liked
Girls.
it. I did really like
It was
it.
so good.
It was so good.
It
Oh
was
my
really
God.
hyped for me though.
I gotta burn the mouse.
Yeah, I might have
Right.
to.
How dare!
Well, the good news is that even if you burn the mouse, you've got like 10 other books in that series that you couldn't read.
But it's also mouse.
She's got a lot of them.
If you give a mouse a cookie, if you give a moose a muffin, if you give a pig a pancake,
Aw.
It's a party.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I've read none of these.
They're great.
Classics.
They are great.
You have to read them to your nephew.
Oh man. Okay, so I definitely do have multiples, but we're gonna do this again anyway. So I pulled the Raven Boys again. And I like making you guys talk about the Raven Boys because I know you all have strong feelings about it. All right, so the Raven Boys and Lumberjanes.
Ooh.
That's the one that I like wrote real bad. That's one. Okay, and then and last is City of Bones.
Oh.
That's a really hard one.
I feel like I'm just gonna be the one out over here, and like all y'all are gonna be like, "Let's burn Cassandra Clare," and I'm gonna be like, "Okay, just
I don't know.
I'll hoard. It's fine."
Okay, I haven't read Lumberjanes yet, so it's easy for me to say I'll just burn that.
Yeah, I actually haven't read it either, so I'm with
really
Emma on this
cute.
one.
And then I would like rewrite City of Bones.
Yeah.
And reread Raven Boys.
I agree with Emma.
I don't know what I would rewrite in City of Bones aside from like Jace's characterization a little bit.
Yeah, I would just I feel like I would like make Jason Clary
Rewrite it for
slightly
the money.
better.
You'll be fine.
That's true.
Rewrite it for the money.
I feel like Jason Clary
right,
could
Kelly.
be like slightly better characters, so I could like make the characters a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know?
I
Because
would
it
have
basically is Drinny.
Oh my god.
it's essentially fan fiction of Drinny. Yeah, I would have to rewrite Lumberjanes because one, I want to do a graphic novel someday, and two, it's like super duper queer, so I love them. And then I don't know. Sorry, City of Bones. I'm gonna have to burn you because I ain't doing it to the Raven Boys.
Not a chance.
Sad.
I thought of another book, so I'm writing it down real quick. I just don't want to run out of like options because it dawned on me like before the chat that like I'm taking 3 pieces of paper out for every single like one. So that's a lot of paper.
Yeah.
You have Lord of the Rings in there. That was another one I thought of.
I do now.
I know you asked for like ideas like 2 weeks ago, but I just suddenly had them all today. So
I know. I was just thinking that I'm like, where was all of these suggestions? But I specifically asked for 5, 15, and I got like 10 altogether.
We had a
terrible
comment in the discussion section from Flatus58 that was great. They said the Raven Boys deserve to get talked about twice. Also, Blue as a Lumberjane is an aesthetic Gansey would love. Just saying.
Agreed.
So true.
I like it.
We also had Helen commented, I had never thought of Drinny, and I feel like my eyes have just been opened.
you're welcome.
Yes.
My life's work is complete.
Sorry, I was putting more in there. Feel free to put more suggestions in the comments in case we run out, and I will write them down and put them in the bucket.
Perfect.
Here, I'll type mine into the chat.
All right. Let's see. Next we have A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Okay.
All right.
Dumpling.
Okay.
It's very drastically different genres. And Throne of Glass.
Oh, snap.
Interesting.
Oh, snap. Ooh, is it like
The first book, right?
it's the first
Yeah.
book? Yeah. Oh man.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna burn A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yes, agreed. We can do
Agreed.
that. Yep.
It was not for me.
I actually disagree with that.
Well, which one would you burn?
I would burn Throne of Glass because I haven't read it.
Oh, okay. You know,
I
fair.
liked that one. Yeah.
I know. I mean, probably. I'm going
I
to.
would rewrite Throne of Glass so Nehemia
same.
doesn't have that thing happen.
That's not till the second book.
That's the second one? I thought that was the first one.
Yeah, because that's like why she breaks up with what's his face.
Oh
Yeah, it's the first
gosh.
one. The first one is just the like assassin
Okay.
thing.
Mm.
I never read Dumpling, so I don't have strong.
I've only
I didn't
watched
love
the
that
movie.
one.
I like the
I
movie.
watched. Yeah, I watched the movie. It made me cry ugly tears, and I'm mad at all of you for suggesting I watch it.
I think I'm gonna reread Dumplin' still, even though like it was okay for me the first time. Having watched the movie, now I kind of want to reread it, and I'm still gonna rewrite Glass because the pacing I struggled with it a little.
Yeah, I would say burn Court of Thorns and Roses. Although, did Court of Thorns and Roses? What was the romance like in that one? I'm having trouble remembering.
It was creepy and weird and had a very strange sexual dynamic.
I almost
It's like
I almost always have an issue with Sarah J. Maas's weird, toxic love interest. Like they really bother me. So that's the thing.
Well, at least in the like Court of series, she kind of addresses it. But this is the thing, and I'm like, I went off about this on something, how like new adult and young adult had a bit of a disconnect, even though some of the characters in, new adult are technically young enough to still be teenagers. So teenagers look at these young adult books and think that, oh, it's for me, like it's my age demographic, when really it's not, because the age category for A Court of Thorns and Roses, who it was meant for, which is the new adults, understand that there is like mental manipulation and like bad things going on with that relationship. But the young people that read it are like, oh,
this is love.
Cool. Like, yeah, this is love. This is so romantic. And she's like, guys,
wait.
Wait. Yeah, everyone's like, oh my god, Tamlin's so hot. And she's like, is he though? Is he though? And then in the second book, you're like, oh wow, he was actually
I also don't like the other guy. So
the reason I said rewrite A Court of Thorns and Roses is because it has one of the strongest like third acts like in a book I've read in a while.
It did have a really good
the third act was so strong, and that's what like really sold the book for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have liked it because the beginning is kind of slow, and then it's like I don't really like any of the characters for real. But that third act is just so solid.
I remember being really engaged by Court of Thorns and Roses in spite of being irritated by certain aspects of it. So I think I would say rewrite it too, to like get rid of the problematic aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's still like a solid series otherwise. So I rewrite it. Yeah.
Right. Or even if you don't get rid of it, like address it more.
Or address it, yeah. Well, because it was like the other guy came in and it was like, I'm the good guy now and her love interest. And you're like, well, but you did all these things before you were the good guy. And like some of them are not excusable. So
they did this whole like tragic backstory that like only kind of makes sense, and like none of it really makes up for anything.
Yeah. Part of me wishes that stuff was in the first book, because then maybe I would have like wanted to keep going with the series.
Right. I get that for sure.
It really irritates me sometimes though when they're like, oh, because of tragic backstory. I'm like, cool, he eats babies. He eats babies, but it's because of all this horrible stuff. Yeah, well, he still eats babies, so like he's not a good guy.
Yeah. Well, like also
cool motive, still murder.
Yeah, right. Well, one of my closest friends has had like the worst family life that I could possibly think of, and like she has a terrible backstory. Like she's not a good time growing up, and she's one of the most amazing, giving, sweetest people that I know. And it's just the fact that like she can come out of this as like a wonderful person, even though she still has like all of this terrible stuff happen in her past. Like that doesn't give anybody an excuse to be like, oh, I'm terrible, but it's because of my tragic childhood. Like, no, not necessarily. Like you can still be a good person.
Are like people who are super privileged. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I saw this thing. It was like tragedy might explain toxic actions, but it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, exactly,
for sure.
Yeah, very true.
All
right, super deep. Next round.
I was like, let's get some laughter back. Okay, first one, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Okay.
Second one, Narnia.
Oh no,
man.
I know. That's a really, really hard one already. Ooh, and the third one is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
What did you say for Narnia?
Huh?
Just Narnia.
What did you say for Narnia, or just Narnia?
Just Narnia.
Okay.
Oh no, this is so hard.
I'm gonna burn Narnia.
You know what? Me too.
No, I can't.
I'm sorry. It was not. I read it too late in life. I read it far too late in life.
It's amazing. I love Narnia so much. So
I was old enough when I read it that I felt like I was reading the Bible 2.0.
Yeah, I was gonna say Narnia I have really mixed feelings for it now. Like I grew up loving it, but looking back on that and how it's like a big fat allegory and blah blah blah, I would say burn Narnia too.
That's like Jesus.
Really, sorry, I have really mixed feelings about it, and I love Harry Potter better. So
Yeah,
I can't burn Narnia, but that's just purely from nostalgia. I have really good memories associated with the book, so like to burn it would be like to burn those memories.
Burn your childhood.
So I'm gonna burn Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I'm going to rewrite Narnia and reread Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets because that's my favorite Harry Potter book.
I want to reread Chamber also. So I guess that means I'm rewriting Hallows.
Yeah. I'm rewriting Hallows to change the epilogue.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I wasn't sure what I was going to rewrite, but you knew.
That dang epilogue.
It didn't need to be there. Just cut it.
I liked the epilogue, but at the same time, it was like really unnecessary.
I wanted an epilogue because like I want to see where they are in the future, but not the one we got. I don't like it.
I don't want to like
I don't like how perfect everything is. It feels like it's like wrapped up in a nice little bow, and I do not like it.
It should have been like Harry in therapy.
Yes.
Exactly.
Harry definitely has PTSD. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what's next. I really like picking these out because, like, I don't know. I like the sound of it.
Like really powerful.
ASMR.
You like the sound of the paper.
I do. Yeah. I like the sound of the paper and like the feeling of like all the little like pieces of paper. Never mind.
You have so much power in this situation.
I do. I thought about the rest of the game show ran out of time. That was my plan. Okay, what's next? All right. First is Codename Verity.
Ooh.
Second is Aragon.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
And last is Lord of the Rings.
Go. All right.
Okay, I know my answer. I would definitely reread Codename Verity because it's one of the greatest novels ever written.
And I want to be Elizabeth Wine someday.
Yes, I want to be Elizabeth Wine's best friend. I want to like ride in her plane with her while she flies. I love her. I would rewrite Lord of the Rings just to make it more diverse.
Yes,
I would have more women and more people of color, and then I would just burn Aragon.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, actually.
Yeah, really Aragon doesn't exist and the rest of the series doesn't either, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, that's a really hard one because I could not get into Codename Verity for some reason.
Yeah, me.
So,
Wow.
I loved it so much.
Wow.
So I have to
go make your own channel. We don't need
so sorry.
Emma, how does it feel to have a book you love be burned? How does it feel? Do you feel that? Do you feel the pain?
So okay, I have to burn Codename Verity for warmth. And I'm gonna I have never read Aragorn, so I'm gonna read that. Aragon. And then I agree with Emma on this one. Rewrite Lord of the Rings because it was boring. Sorry, let's not beat around the bush.
I feel like you could just burn Lord of the Rings because it's being rewritten so many times by so many people. Lord of the Rings exists forever.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you burn Lord of the Rings, does that mean all those other things disappear from the
I know. Like, are we burning it from time or are we burning it now? I thought about that too.
Oh, I think okay. That changes the stakes. Okay.
Yeah.
Even though J.R.R. Tolkien describes things way too much, I still like love the books. So
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be like we're trapped in a bookstore and we need to burn books for heat to like. I didn't think it was gonna be like we're erasing this from the fabric.
We're erasing this from time.
Now we are.
Has anyone ever seen the movie The Day After Tomorrow? I think it's called.
Yes.
Literally about,
that movie.
yeah, where they're in the library and they have to burn books and somebody starts burning the fiction and he's like, "What are you doing? There's a whole law section over here."
That would be us.
It was like a horror movie to me. I'm sitting there while they're burning books, like, why would you do this?
All right. So we can say there's a difference between like burn for warmth and burn from time.
Yeah.
No, I think it should all be burned from time. If you say burn, it no longer exists.
Wow.
And Carry On just got voted off the planet.
That was so much pressure. Oh, stakes.
I don't think I could actually burn anything from time.
Desiree's just gone.
No.
Desiree just left. Is she laughing or crying? I can't tell.
I'm laughing. I can't.
We broke Desiree.
I'm back.
I love that you exited the camera in order to
Oh my gosh.
t-shirt.
Kelly, you're so vicious.
You're gonna make me burn things from time. My face hurts.
I know, my
My face hurts too. That's what
It was just the way you said it. You were like, we got to carry on the time. Like,
oh, I'm crying.
Savage. There's so much passion behind those words.
Never knew you felt so strong, Kelly.
I do love that book.
I can't breathe. God. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's move on before I burst to laughter again. All right. Simon versus the Homo sapien agenda.
Ooh, okay.
And then we have. You already got that one. Sorry. Get another one.
Want to carry on again? You're just afraid of us.
Ready to
I'm sorry, Desiree.
I just stopped laughing, Rachel. Dang it. Oh gosh, I can't see. There's too many laughter tears in my eyes.
Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
We've got people smiling along in the discussion section.
Yay!
Full of emojis.
But for your information, no, it was not Carry On.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, book number 2, Daughter of Smoke and Bone.
Okay.
It's already really hard between those two. Let's get a third one. And oh man, and A Darker Shade of Magic.
No! How dare you?
Oh my gosh.
Honestly.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's
Oh,
really
no.
hard.
Oh.
Oh.
By process of elimination, I have to burn Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda.
Oh, no.
Get out.
By process of elimination,
I
guys.
can't. I changed my mind. I can't agree with you.
Yeah.
No. But I'm gonna rewrite it.
I'm gonna burn Daughter of Smoke and Bone.
Really?
No.
Why? It's so good.
No.
I liked
good.
it okay.
It's
Good
good,
so
but out of the
far.
3, that one has to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's so sad. But
Well,
I
we can
think
all agree that we're rereading Darker Shade of Magic, right? Can we just like
yeah.
No,
yeah,
I-
playing field?
I might read
I'm
it
not.
Darker Shade of Magic to have slightly better pacing because the first book took me a while to get through. The other 2, not so
I
much.
want to rewrite it because I want me to have come up
That
with that
too.
world.
That to be fair, yeah.
Like I
And
almost
reread
have to
Simon.
burn A Darker Shade of Magic because I didn't really like the first one that much, but I wasn't thinking of it because I trust you guys enough that I was planning to reread it anyway. But like based on my experiences, that's probably the one I've liked the least of the three.
Kelly.
I love a daughter smoking bone. Like it is.
I know.
Lily Taylor is ride or die.
Yeah,
Water
absolutely.
Smoking Bone because it has the best magic system of
It
any YA book.
teeth.
It is so creative. I would have
It's
never
so
thought of
good.
that.
Yeah.
So I can't burn that. And Simon versus the Homo sapien agenda, like that was the first YA book with an LGBT theme to make it to the mainstream.
No,
So
I
I
know
can't
it's important. I know it's really important,
So
and I don't want to burn it off the face of time. I didn't like it that much, honestly.
She's just cold and she needs warmth.
We'll freeze without it.
I feel like
Wait. Can we talk about? Can it be like the movie cover version and then like the normal cover version? Because I will burn one of those, but the other one can stay. How about that?
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's
Talk
how it works.
out.
You know what? If we're constantly changing the rules of this universe,
The
Also,
official league rules state that it has to be put on the paper, and it's not. So sorry.
I also feel like what affects my decision is the fact that, like, yeah, like I really liked the sequels to A Darker Shade of Magic, like even more than the first one. And so I'm like, I would just want to like rewrite the first one to make it like a little bit like better pacing. But then like Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I enjoyed the first book, but I didn't like the other two. So I'm like, yeah, I could just get rid of the first one because I don't care about the other ones.
I got to the twist in Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and I was like, well, why am I reading this anymore?
oh no,
This is a new
The
book.
writing is beautiful.
I
but,
love
like,
so beautiful.
the
It is
story
so
I didn't care that much
beautiful.
about.
The world is very cool too. I
I
agree
think
with
Stranger
that.
Dreamer is a much better book.
yes, it's
I'm
my
excited to
favorite.
read that one.
It's so,
I still need to read
so
it.
beautiful, so beautiful.
She is such an incredible writer. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Which is why there's no way that I can burn that book.
That's an impossible choice.
It honestly is
Terrible, impossible choice.
awful.
Yeah, when we were coming up with our own, so those are the ones I was trying to come up with of like top 3 books we've ever read, make them suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's just move on. We can't.
We can't think about this anymore.
Okay.
I'm in so much pain. Let's just move on.
First step. History is all you left me.
Okay.
50 Shades of Grey. I think I know that's gonna fall for everybody.
Hey, I'll take that 50 Shades money.
And The Giving Tree.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a competition for which one I'm burning now.
Oh no! Do you not like The Giving Tree?
I don't.
Oh,
It's not a great anything.
You guys
Like,
must have not learned how to share.
no, wait. I'm going to rewrite The Giving Tree so that The Giving Tree falls over and crushes the boy.
Oh! Savage, Aaron. My God.
Wow.
No, same, Aaron.
Such
Same.
a jerk.
yeah,
I haven't actually read The Giving Tree.
Wow.
All right, well, we're rewriting The Giving Tree. I'm assuming we're all burning 50 Shades of Grey and rereading History's All You Left Me. 'Cause History's All You Left Me is such a good book.
It is. I'm definitely rereading that. I don't know. I might be with Kelly and, rewrite 50 Shades and get that sweet, sweet money.
You could, instead of making it
I could write full time for the rest of my life.
instead of making it an Edward Bella fanfiction, you could just make it a Drini fanfiction.
Yes, exactly. Much more consensual, less power imbalance.
It's more
Not that
sad.
50
Hey.
Shades wasn't consensual, but there was a power imbalance.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but Megan, you're going to have to follow through and actually write this now, right?
Oh,
Because,
no.
like,
I
we
can't
wanna-
actually do that. I cringe writing like a hand holding scene.
BDSM.
I'm
I know.
like, what if my mom reads this?
I know.
Nevertheless.
The other day, my friend was like, "Okay, write a sexy scene." And I was like, and then they kissed sexily. That's it. That's the extent.
Wow.
And then they stabbed each other. Wait, is that not a
Yeah.
romance scene?
That's not how this
It
goes.
could be sexy in the right context.
Hey, 50 Shades.
I don't know what you like, but no, thank you, please.
Oh my goodness, you guys.
This is
Think of
evolving.
euphemisms, Aaron. Okay.
All right, are we gonna move on to the next one?
All right. Sure.
Yes.
Having too much fun dumping on 50 Shades of Grey and like possibly BDSM wizards because like I kind of would be down for that. Not gonna lie. Anything better than 50 Shades of Grey.
All right. First, I have To All the Boys I Loved Before.
Okay.
Which is such a throwback for me. I read that forever ago.
Yeah.
The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue.
Ooh.
And Hunger Games.
Ooh.
Oh.
Definitely rereading Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Really?
I have to agree with that. I love Hunger Games.
I might burn Hunger Games.
No. That was the first book series I found after I read Twilight. So like Hunger Games, like
I think same
Twilight,
actually.
yeah, Twilight got me into reading, like got me back into reading, and then Hunger Games kept me into reading.
What was the third one? Not Gentleman's Guide.
To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
To All the Books.
Yes.
I might have to burn that one.
That's what I was thinking.
I love it and I adore the movie.
I like the movie way more than the book.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't have to
same.
find one because I have the movie now. I'm good.
Yeah.
And the sequel movies are coming. So
Yeah.
I have never read that, so I'm not sure. Maybe that one will get burned instead. Can we rewrite Hunger Games, reread Gentleman's Guide? No. Rewrite Gentleman's Guide because the ending got weird.
Yeah, and the pacing wasn't quite.
Yeah.
I'm just here for Emma's face when she sees someone saying that they'll burn a book. She loves the disapproval.
The librarian disapproval.
It is. Yes.
Like, that's like, Hunger Games is a classic. So is Codename Verity. Get
Yeah,
out.
I'm like,
Codename Verity won the Michael L. Prince Award. Get out.
she's gonna scold you.
Okay, you know what? Fine. We won't burn Hunger Games. We'll burn To All the Boys I Loved Before because I've heard that the book isn't even that good and the movie's much better. And
I enjoyed the
characters
first
annoying.
one. Like, it was okay.
hmm
The second one, it was
Unnecessary.
book one redo.
yeah, I heard that that's just what the sequels were. They're like the exact same.
I'm excited to see the movie, though. Like, I trust that they're going to do things.
yeah, I would take a movie one redo. So it's fine.
Well, and the fact that they waited to include what's his face, the guy in the end credits, John Michael, is that his name?
Yeah.
John Ambrose.
John Michael Ambrose, because he was in book one, if I'm recalling correctly, and not in book two. It's been a long time,
Yeah.
but they kept him out, and he is gonna spice up movie two, I think.
Spicy. All right. Next we have Everything Everything.
Ooh, that was so good.
What?
Fight.
Sorry. Continue. What are my other options?
All right. Next I have The Fault in Our Stars.
Okay.
And lastly, Under the Never Sky.
Oh, it's been so long since I read that one.
I don't think I read it.
I didn't like it.
I
I liked it.
read Under the Never Sky like at least 5 years ago.
Yeah, the ether sky thing was cool. I was into it.
I would probably like out of these three. I don't know. Like I feel like I have to like burn The Fault in Our Stars just because like I don't care to reread it or rewrite it. Like I just don't care.
I feel the same, actually.
Like, I don't even want to like take the effort it would take to rewrite it. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
would have
read
to say burn The Fault in Our Stars because it gives me all the sad, and I don't
Yeah.
like sad.
I don't
books.
need being sad right now.
No. Yeah.
I want to rewrite Under the Never Skies so that it's just a fantasy because it came out like during all the dystopian and stuff. I feel like it would have made a really dope, just like straight up fantasy where this thing was happening.
I agree with that actually.
What is it even about? Can you tell me what it's about then? Because I thought it was a sci-fi book.
It's like a dystopian.
Yeah, it's like this. Something went wrong and now the sky kills you and so you can't go outside, but there's this girl from under the dome and she like falls for this guy who's like lived in the outside world and rebellions and stuff.
Classic.
Okay.
But of course.
Yeah. I liked the world and I loved like the imagery, and I feel like if you didn't have to have a lot of the dystopian cliches, that it could be really, really cool.
All right.
Hi, Kelly.
Oh yes, Kelly, you have to go now.
Bye. I got one.
Bye, Kelly.
Bye.
All right. Next one. Now that she's gone. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's talk about Kelly's books.
All right. Next we have The Uglies.
Ooh.
That was like my first like dystopian that I like.
Yeah.
Games.
Other than The Giver, I had read The Giver before that, but
I hadn't read The Giver.
Ooh, okay. Uglies, Shiver. Going way back.
Ooh.
Rachel, your face.
Sorry.
You're like, nah.
Ooh.
And Twilight.
What?
Old round.
Okay.
Um,
Round.
Ooh, that's hard.
What was the second one again? Sorry.
Ugly,
Shiver.
Shiver, and Twilight.
Oh, Burn Shiver.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that.
Easily.
Yeah, easily.
Sorry, Maggie.
Yeah.
It's a no from me.
Yeah. It's nothing personal.
Okay, so when Shiver first came out, I really liked it. Because, like, not when it first came out, but when I first read it, I really liked it because that's when I was, like, deep in my, like, vampire werewolf phase.
Oh, yeah.
Like, anything that had a wolf or a vampire in it. Like, I literally read, like, probably over 100 werewolf vampire books.
Yeah, see, I didn't find it till after I was past my vampire.
And then so that makes sense, like, why you didn't like it. But also, I was from Minnesota. So, like, some of the landmarks they talked about, I was like, I know where that is.
Yeah.
In the shop, I know where it is. But then after the first book, the entire series fell apart. Like, completely fell apart.
In the comments, like, Burn Shiver! Strong feelings.
Okay, so we've all agreed to burn that one.
Shiver. Then we won't be cold anymore. We won't need to shiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Boy.
Oh god. Okay, and then are we gonna say reread Twilight? Because I would like to rewrite.
I want to reread Uglies.
Yeah, I want to reread Uglies.
So I guess that means I have to rewrite.
I have
Twilight.
issues with both of the series ends, so I'm like, I don't really care which one happens because I would like to reread both, but I would also like to
I
rewrite
would
both.
rewrite Twilight for the sweet cash monies,
True.
like we
Yeah,
talked
that
about.
makes sense.
Yes.
For that sweet cash money, homies.
Exactly.
Yeah. Word.
I would just take out the part at the beginning where Bella's like, I was so plain and ugly in Arizona.
Yes. Just
Yeah.
take out
Just take out
every
that.
part where she's like, but I'm so normal.
I'm so
And just change it to
plain.
her being like, actually, I'm just like
I'm
hella
really
hot.
Also, take out the whole ending.
Yeah.
Take out
Just
the
have
whole
her be turned into a vampire at the end of it and be done.
Yeah.
right, done,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah,
See?
done.
Great
All right.
rewrite. All right.
And
A plus team.
yeah, and then
Job well done. Okay, next.
no more 2 and 3 books and like weird pregnancies. We'll just like
exactly.
that's not
Yeah,
happening.
I
That's
always
happening.
forget how weird Breaking Dawn is. Breaking Dawn is
There's
real
like 200
weird.
pages of Jacob point of view. Just right in the middle.
It was
Right, I
like
forgot about that.
It was so boring, and they literally have still to this day never gotten past the fact that he imprinted on her child. And
I remember
Okay.
Stephanie Meyer. Remember Stephanie Meyer was like, "Oh, I had to add in Jacob's point of view because like Bella like was too incapacitated to have a point of view there." And I'm like, "You could have just cut that part of the book out."
You did it in New Moon. You could have done it.
I
in
remember
this
being
one.
like 19 and knowing nothing about writing, and I was like, "You could have just cut the middle part out if
not
she."
how any of
Yeah,
this works.
if she was so incapacitated that she couldn't tell the story, it's because nothing,
story
nothing is
wasn't
happening.
happening.
Yeah, cut it out.
Like honestly, it felt like weird Twilight fan fiction, but
it did.
canon.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I'm thinking back on it, it's really interesting to think about, like, because I remember in Eclipse that Paul imprints on like Emily's like niece who's like 2, and that was like Stephanie, like it was her way
Setting
of,
you
like,
up.
Yeah,
using the
foreshadowing.
It's like that doesn't make it okay, Stephanie.
I know.
No.
Because you had
I
foreshadowing.
remember like how they explained it because I was like reading it and I was like, no, it's not like that. It's like they'll be like her best friend or like big brother or
It's like
whatever. And then I was
grooming her.
like, okay, you say this.
Until they get married.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
still them ending up together.
Yeah.
And they're child right now. Can we just not? Can we just not?
Also, that age difference, like,
Yes. And then like she probably will like they're gonna feel like they have no choice. Like
Also, there's
I
just
would
like
read
some
the hell out of a
weird
book
like
like that,
appropriation
though.
of Native American culture in there too, with the like
Yeah.
werewolves. So we'll write that
and
out.
then, yeah, and then they also make the one like the fact that he's like abusive, basically, not Jacob, one of his relatives. I can't remember who. And then they're like, but he's a werewolf. That's why. Just that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife
Like
has
hurts his
scars.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
I
there's
remember
a
that.
lot
Yeah.
going on there. That's
Yeah.
really
That makes it okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like I hated how much they talked bad about Leah, but like honestly, if you think about like her and Sam were like engaged, and Emily came to visit, and like Sam was just like, okay, I'm in love with your cousin now, and then now they can read each other's minds.
Yeah. In general, I have like zero patience for like the type of thing. This is part of why I don't like some of Sarah J. Maas, especially like the Kotar series. I don't like the whole like this is the person you're fated to be with and you don't really have much of a choice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't like that trope. So
Not a huge fan.
Does anyone know of a book that like has that, but the person is like, no,
Oh, that's a good question.
and then they don't get together? I can think of one I want to
Sorry,
write.
this has nothing to do with that. But I remembered I remember what the book is called. It's called Skinned.
Yes.
There we go. So I'm like, I remember what it's called. That book that we talked about at the very beginning of the chat that was like the sci-fi.
Yes.
With the girl's brain being put in a robot. Okay, sorry, continue. I just remember that.
There's a short story in the Toil and Trouble anthology, the witchcraft anthology, that is about that. It's about a girl who it like basically imprints on a guy and it's part of their magic and they're meant to be together, but she's a lesbian. And she's like, no. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a really good story.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to read that now.
Yeah, I'm going to read that anthology. Okay, cool.
Like as a lesbian, like your true love will be revealed to you, and then it's a guy. And you're
It's
like,
a guy. Yeah.
what to do with this? Like,
She's like, no thanks.
Oh man.
Yeah.
like sorry, that's a
Can
hard
we
pass.
be friends?
Yeah, exactly.
No thanks.
All right. Let's see what we have next. All right. Oh, we got two stuck together. So we have.
Should we maybe do one or two more?
Yeah.
That sounds
Going
good.
for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Okay, I'm gonna cheat and pick the ones I like.
Okay.
Desiree.
Perfect.
I have the power. Oh, this is gonna be a hard one for me. Oh wait, I might get super offended if I do this one. Wait.
Do it. With great power comes great responsibility.
Okay. No, I'm gonna get super offended. I can't do that.
You have to tell us which one it is afterwards.
I'm trying to think if I should make fangirl one of the options.
Oh, is that why you offended?
I was so offended with Carry On. I don't know if my poor heart can take it.
more of us love fangirl.
Yeah,
All of us
Carry
do.
On.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Unless you put it up against Raven Boys, but I mean,
But other okay. So first we have fangirl.
Mhm.
We have perks of being a wallflower.
Okay.
We have the hate you give.
I'm very perfect at being a wallflower because I haven't read it. So
Yeah,
it's an easy
I tried reading it once and couldn't get into it. So yeah,
The movie is so good and the book is so boring. Just no, burn the book. It's fine.
Okay, I really like the book. I'm okay with burning Perks of Being a Wallflower. Like, out of all of these, that's the one I would burn. But I just want to come to its defense. Perks of Being a Wallflower, the book, is actually not boring. It's great.
Okay, I'm also biased because I don't really like reading books that have that like diary entry type of story. So for me personally, I don't like that. So if you like that, that's okay. But
I get that. That's like probably the only book I can think of with that style that I've liked.
But I mean, like, obviously, zero of us white girls are going to say we're going to rewrite The Hate You Give.
No, I want to rewrite it for the sweet, sweet cash, but it wouldn't work. So
Yeah.
There's a very narrow margin of what we can choose
I
here.
want to rewrite Fangirl, but just cut down on the fan fiction sections just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna gasp. I'm gonna choose to rewrite Fangirl because
The Hate You Give is like a perfect book. You can't rewrite it. It's
so good.
Yeah.
It's true.
Fangirl, I would make those little excerpts from like Simon Snow and the fanfic. Like it would be like really small, like
Yes.
a few lines, and that's it. Not
where she's reading it, because I would keep that. That's cute, and I like
that. Is cute.
Or she could have put it in the end, and then I would have read it with great interest. But as it was like pulling me out of the story a little bit because it was so long.
There are some of them that I agree with that. Not all of them. Some of the excerpts were really good. But like, especially at the beginning when you're first getting the feel for the story, it's kind of jarring. It's like, wait, am I reading a different book now? Like, what happened?
And I had trouble understanding what was the actual books and what was the fan fiction and what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick these again because I'm a rebel.
All right, for this last one of the night, if you haven't been playing along, let us know in the discussion section what your choices would be. Thank you so much to everyone who's been joining us also. It's been a little less like question and answer based than our normal chats, but we're still reading all of the discussion that's going on and super appreciate you guys being here. You are awesome and hilarious and just, we love you.
Okay, wait, can we actually do 2 more? Because now I can't. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more. We'll just make them kind of quick because I was like, oh man. Okay, first one. First of the last 2, we have 6 of Crows, Eleanor and Park,
and Mockingjay. I'm gonna burn Eleanor and Park.
Same.
What?
Okay, I can get that.
I don't like it.
I'm not a huge fan of Eleanor and Park.
I liked it okay.
I think
it was cute.
I think Fangirl was better, but Eleanor and Park got more hype, and I am forever salty about it.
Yes.
I'm gonna rewrite 6 of Crows because
you don't like those. Yeah, I know you don't like it.
I could not get into it. I wanted to like them, but
no, 6 of Crows is amazing.
Yeah,
I want to reread 6 of Crows.
Yeah,
reread 6 of Crows. Sorry, quick side note: have you all read King of Scars yet?
No.
Not yet.
Say nothing.
It's so good. Okay, look, it's gonna get real weird in the middle. You have to trust me. Keep going. It gets better again.
Okay.
It will make sense. It's just
that.
really weird in the center.
Like you're gonna hate it at first, but just keep reading.
You're gonna suffer. You're
gonna love it, and then you're gonna be like, "What?" And then you're gonna be like, "Okay." Like,
once again, I want to rewrite Mockingjay because of the epilogue.
Yeah,
because I really like
Mockingjay for a lot more reasons.
Oh, see, I really like Mockingjay. I actually really like Mockingjay. I like a lot of things about it, but I wish it had like ended with like right before the epilogue when like they're doing the like real or not real thing, and he's like, "You love me, real or not real?" I think like I just wanted it to end with that.
Perfect ending.
Yeah. I don't need the epilogue.
Yeah,
I just need it to end with like them getting together because I love Peeta.
Yeah,
I would be okay with those things if like and then they're happy and they have a baby if that was more of a running thread in the book of her like, well, maybe if things were gonna work, maybe I would want that because as it is, it's like, but Katniss never wanted that.
Yeah,
but like I feel like it was
within
the realm of believability. Like,
yeah, because he definitely does make it clear. I feel like in like the first book, especially that like the reason she doesn't want to have kids is because the world is so messed up.
Yeah,
but yeah, maybe like if she had kind of reinforced that farther in, but I just feel like it was kind of unnecessary.
That's a very strong YA trope. Like the only way you get happiness and a happy ending is like typical marriage with kids.
Yeah,
like that is very much the only way your character is happy at the end is if they're married with kids, right?
Like, at the same time though, none of the dystopians of that era ended that way except for that one.
Yeah, Maggie Steve Utter does a big rant about that because she said people are always like, the Shiver ones, are the Shiver characters married? Do they have kids or whatever? And she was like, she was 17 at the time, like relax. Calm down.
Yeah.
I just feel like the real or not real thing is such a strong ending.
It is. Yeah, it's so perfect.
It's so good. So that's what I would do. Otherwise, I would probably keep Mockingjay pretty much the way it is other than that because I actually liked it.
I can see like how like the epilogue was like definitely wanted by fans at the time, especially the amount of fans that were like in middle school who like loved the Hunger Games. Like that's a big thing to middle schoolers. Like they think if you're not married and have kids that you're just what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. You know, like as someone that right now, like I've known for a long time that I've never wanted kids, and of course everybody is, oh, you're young, you'll change your mind, and like, no, this is like I hated kids when I was a kid. Like I'm not going to have children. Like I just know that about me and my soul. And the fact that I remember being like 11 or something and thinking like, oh, when I grow up, you know, I'm going to have a husband and we're going to have a house, we're going to have kids, because that was just like the default setting. And then when I was like a teenager and was like, wait, you don't have to do that? Like there are other
I was like 20 when I realized
I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Decide what I actually wanted. It's like, whoa, I can actually choose if I want this or not.
Yeah, so like just that. And I mean, I get it, because when people say like, oh, you'll change your mind, or like, oh, if authors write, you know, people having kids, it's like that's the traditional way of like being happy and like being an adult. So like I get why they do it, but I also actually, I'm like segue into something else, is that I was watching a film critique about the death of the author and how it's like this thing. And John Green did with The Fault in Our Stars, how a lot of people were saying like, oh, it's, you know, about Hazel saying like, oh, it's not fair, you didn't tell us what happened to her, and then she has her own thing in that book of wanting to know what the characters do, and the author being like, they just don't exist anymore, like they're just book characters, like, you know, you're overthinking it kind of thing. And how John Green kind of responded to that, saying that, you know, they are characters and they're yours, so you get to decide what happens to them. And you know, and of course all these books are, you know, they're 16, 17, like you can't expect to know, you know, or like tell your audience like, oh, and then, you know, they grew up and got married and lived happily ever after. Like they're teenagers in the middle of the apocalypse. Like it's not necessarily a realistic thing to be like, and then they got married and had babies. Like
that makes sense.
At the same time though, people got so mad when Lauren Oliver did that.
Yeah, I think so, because it was, well, I mean, the series was also supposed to be about love, so the fact that she like didn't have her choose anybody was a little bit like, okay. Yeah, but that was the thing where it's like not the typical you get the girl at the end. It was just like, maybe one day, like we're really messed up right now and we have other things to worry about, so like maybe we'll think about it later. And I was like, good, responsible teenager. That was
actually one of the things I really, really liked, and I will not spoil what happened, but I really liked that about the fourth book in the Shatter Me series, was that it was very like, oh wait, we have to be grown-ups now, and we didn't necessarily have a very grown-up relationship. Like we were acting like children, and now we are running things, and we are still children. So
I did hear.
I will hype that forever.
All right, what's our final grouping?
Okay.
Sorry, I went on a rant here.
Here we are. Okay. I know. I was looking at the clock, like, man, can't wait to eat food.
Okay, one last one. We'll go
one last one. All right. First, we have Match, as in Match from PC Cast, the old school vampire series, like throwing it way back in the day,
like House of Night kind of thing.
Yes, House of Night.
Damn. Okay.
Throwing it all the way back. All right. Second is Fallen
by Lauren Kate.
Yeah, by Lauren Kate.
Okay.
And third is The Strange and Deadly Portraits of Brian.
Well, obviously we're burning Barney Gray, because like, what even?
I haven't read the other two, so
me
like,
neither.
Read them both, I don't care, and I'll reread Brian Gray. Yeah.
I'll rewrite the vampire one, because I really do kind of want to write a vampire novel.
Damn.
And I'll burn the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
That works out well for me.
Exactly. We all decided to read Barney Gray, and all of you watching definitely should too.
We didn't have to put Barney Gray up against Harry Potter.
Right, because
I would burn Barney Gray if it was against Harry Potter.
No. Yeah, I think we all kind of agree, like, reread Bryony Gray, rewrite Match, and burn Fallen.
I know nothing about it, but sounds good to me.
It's basically the same thing as Hush Hush. You could literally read those two books and be like, I don't know which one's which.
I don't really like Fallen Angel books, so
yeah. I liked them for like a second when they were like super popular, and then I was like,
I wasn't really reading a lot of YA during that time. I feel like maybe because like I just didn't really read many of those.
Yeah.
I don't even like it was. I'm still confused over what Fallen was, and the rest of the sequels did not get any more clear. They just got more confusing.
They did.
At one point, you could, like, there was like these shadow people, and at one point, I think in this series, she learned that like if you went up to the shadow people and like put your hand in it, you could like unlock them, and they were like doors to other dimensions or places, or you could travel with them or something. It was weird. It was super weird. And then the angel boy was like only sometimes there, but then they was also part of like a secret organization. But then also they were at like boarding school for a while, which was just like a detention center. It was very strange. I don't even remember what happened. I have strong feelings about that series.
You need to do book reviews in this vein. Where you're like, it was weird. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't like it.
Rachel summarizes very early YA books.
That is brilliant. Oh my god, I need to write this down. That is a great idea because I didn't read a lot of the super new YA or super old YA stuff. I read like a lot of the big series, but nothing.
Oh man,
nothing too much. And it's been so long since I read it, so I'm gonna write this down right now. That's a great idea.
I read all of the like old like books that were like in YA, because that's like when I was in the height of YA when I was like 12, and that's when like YA like first like exploded. So all of those old series, again, especially if it was a vampire series,
I read them. Put Vampire Academy down here.
Oh, Vampire Academy. Solid.
Those are good. Actually,
that was in.
I've never read them, and I really want to.
What?
Me either.
I've only read like the first 3, I think.
I've read the entire series multiple times. It's very good. It's one of my favorite vampire series.
I've heard amazing things about it, but just
the movie is garbage. The movie is like Avatar: The Last Airbender level of garbage.
Oh, that's
I was angered. I was so angered. Ugh. My perfect series. I'm not mad about it.
Cat.
Wait, who said cat?
Me. There's a cat.
Okay, because it sounded like you whispered cat, and then for a second it sounded like someone whispering "get out," and I was like gotta go.
Oh my god, that movie. There was the director. I saw another preview for his next movie.
Oh my gosh, it looks
so good.
I peed a little. I was like, this is terrifying.
Jordan Peele is like, it's so freaking brilliant. Get Out is probably the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. Like,
it was really good. It's really good. And just so weird.
What was it? Us, I think.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
Us.
Oh, that's so scary.
All right, are we ready to call it here?
Let's call it.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. I had a ton of fun doing this. We definitely have to do another tag soon. I think we should do Rip It or Ship It again. Because we did that a while ago, and that was super fun, and I like these games. So we're going to do that again. Next Sunday is book club, right?
Yes. Sock Hill Girls.
Sock Hill Girls.
Yes. So join us next Sunday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and you will see us all throughout the week in our videos. See you guys later. Bye.